Greetings, the Hijabi Gamer here, and I'm making this video to kind of add further clarification to the two previous videos I made about comic books, specifically John Kent and Tim Drake. Because given some of the comments and things people have been saying, I'm getting the impression that people got the wrong message from the video. That they're thinking, oh, Kat doesn't like gays, which is farthest from the truth. Honestly, when it comes to LGBTQ people, and yes, I know some people are going to get offended by this, but honestly, I don't care. It makes no difference to me. Look, who you sleep with, I get it. Being gay is a part of who you are, but it's not primarily who you are. And if you're a fun, nice person, what difference does it make to me? As long as you're not hitting on me, it makes no difference. What you do at home, one of my favorite people, who's a really good friend of mine, and I care deeply about, she's a friend. When I first met her, she seemed like a nice person, started to get along, and then I found out later that she happened to be lesbian. Still the same person. Didn't make a difference. I still really like her. I consider her a really good friend. And as long as she's not hitting on me and we can be friends, then hey, awesome. Honestly, if she was, I'd be flattered, but she's my friend, and there's very little I wouldn't do for her because she's a really nice person, and I hope I can be as good a friend to her as she has been to me. So, to me, LGBTQ it's like cat fur color. It's the same thing with skin color, and why I don't like so much focus on it, because there are people I care deeply about, and people whose company I enjoy, and people I consider great friends, and every skin color. And we're focusing so much on that, and we're forgetting this is only a small part of what makes that person who they are. As long as you're a nice person, and you're fun to be around, and you like Destiny 2, and Destiny, and you consider Destiny better, I'm joking. Because I feel the same thing. One of the things I've tried to say when I make my videos is the fact that I like gaming, I like Star Trek, I like Star Wars, I like comic books. I just happen to be Muslim. But that doesn't change the fact that I love Destiny 2. I just happen to be a different religion. But it doesn't change fundamentally who I am. It's a small portion of who I am. And it's the same thing with LGBTQ. I said she's a really good friend of mine. It's the same thing. I've worked with people who are gay and straight for years. And I've treated everyone the same. And it makes absolutely no difference. So, wanted to make that clear. I thought I did in previous videos where I've said, what you do is between you and God, regardless of what it is. What you drink, what you eat. I am not God. I am not judging you. I don't know how God will judge you, because again, I am not God. I am a flawed, struggling Muslim who's trying to keep to my religion myself. Who am I to judge others when I can barely keep to my religion myself? I am not perfect. And so I have no place, I have no right to judge others. I hope I've made that clear. Because, like I said, I have LGBTQ friends, and if I bother anybody by the videos I've made, that deeply bothers me. In addition, I think I've made it pretty clear in the past, I have no problem with LGBTQ characters. Devrim Kay, Anna Bray, Wainwright Jacobs, and Hammerlock in Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3 is one of my favorite video games. Story sucks, but it's a fun game, and Hammerlock is awesome. So, the fact that he's gay makes no difference. Though, Devrim Kay, that's still up in the air. I mean, I'm still pissed he hasn't given us... I'm waiting for that tea, Devrim. And it would be awesome if we find his secret stash of teacups. But I'm just joking. You know, Devrim Kay, Anna Bray, Ellie from The Last of Us, and the DLC, not The Last of Us Part 2. So, yeah, I have no problem with LGBTQ characters. Otherwise, why would I still be playing Destiny 2? Or Borderlands 3? I have all the DLC, and not only have I played it on PlayStation, I want to play it on Xbox so I can play it with my friend. Because I really want to play video games with her. Wendy, this is me shouting you out. When are we going to play Borderlands 3? When are we going to play Destiny 2? I'm still waiting. So I hope I made that clear. My arguments against Tim Drake, in particular Tim Drake, has nothing to do with the fact that they made him gay. In fact, one of the points I tried to make clear in that video was the fact that if they did the same thing, if they decided to instead make Tim Drake Muslim, I would be just as unhappy about it. And I'm obviously Muslim. I mean, there's no hiding it. And I made it clear. I said, if somebody from DC Comics were to come to me and say, "Hey, Kat, we're making Tim Drake a Muslim. We'd like you to advise us on that," my response would be, "Oh, hell no. Definitely not. Don't do it. Please don't do it." I would make the exact same video, except I would be saying, instead of gay, Muslim. So this has nothing to do with it's the fact that they changed an established character for the sake of shock value. Because they knew that they could not come up with a good enough story. So instead, they went, you know what? How can we get attention to our comic? Oh, I know. Let's take an established character who's existed for decades and make him gay. Or bi. That's it. They couldn't come up with a good story that would draw people's attention. Whereas, I mean, they used to. Batman Cataclysm is, I've mentioned it before, one of my favorite Batman storylines because it was so unique. It was suddenly Batman is facing an enemy he cannot punch or see or touch. An earthquake hits Gotham City. And then, after that, No Man's Land, where they declare Gotham City no longer a part of the United States. That is by far my favorite Batman storyline, and what got me into Batman comics, and what made Commissioner Gordon one of my favorite characters. So they, instead of going for, let's write a good story, let's draw people's attention with something exciting and new, and instead went for shock value. And you know what? I suspect they were going for hate clicks, because they know that the majority of the people who'd be reading these comic books are fans. And the fans are going to be like, why did you take a character, a well-established character, a character who has always been in a relationship with Stephanie Brown, who apparently he dumped off screen, I'm being told. You did it for hate clicks, you did it for shock value, and you did it for a social credit. You wanted to be like, hey, look how progressive we are. Instead of creating a new, unique character, you took an established character so you could piss off the fans and shock people. And that's my issue with it. It's why I pointed out I have no problem with Anna Bray or Devram Kay. In fact, now, correct me, I don't even remember. I could be wrong, but Bungie didn't boast about Devram Kay. People figured out he was gay because he mentioned Mark in conversation. And you have to wait around for him to mention Mark, though I still think it might be a teacup. Bungie didn't boast about it. It wasn't about social credit and look, we have a gay character. It was he happened to reveal it in the story. Anna Bray, maybe I missed it, which would mean it didn't stand out. I know about Anna Bray because of the comic book, which most people aren't reading. So again, Bungie didn't make Anna Bray and Devram Kay gay for the sake of, look at how progressive we are. They did it naturally, fluidly, in the story. Whereas Osiris is different. They were like, hey, he's gay, look at us, like with Dumbledore. You know, she did it after the fact. She did it just to get progressive social credit. So that's my issue. It's you're taking an established character. In fact, honestly, I feel like you're in a way taking advantage of the LGBTQ community because they're token characters. You're showing no respect to the people. You're not going, hey, we are creating a new character who happens to be gay. No, we need to boost the character by taking an established one and going with shock value. And also, and this is a point I've been trying to make over and over again, you are not creating allies. One of the reasons, if you told me you would make an established character like Tim Drake Muslim, I would say no. It's because I know fans would be pissed. And the line between the idiots at DC Comics and Muslims would blur. And people would get mad at Muslims. They'd be like, because of your agenda, you made them change an established character. And I'm seeing it in the comments. I'm seeing people getting angry at LGBTQ people instead of going, DC Comics, you idiots. So you're not creating allies by doing this. You're angering people. You're making people angry, and that's not a good thing. And people are tired of it. People are also tired of being preached at. Tell us good stories. At this point, it's 2021. It's nearly 2022. People have moved on. Yeah, like I said, I found out after the fact that a friend of mine is lesbian. 20 years ago, that might have been a big deal, but now it's like, you're my friend. I enjoy your company. What difference does it make? And people have moved on and accepted it. At this point, really, we don't need to be preached at. And it's the same thing with Muslims. Yeah, 20 years ago, right after 9/11, that's different. But now, it's like, most people are like, yeah, you're a Muslim, whatever. People see me when I started my job, I was wearing my hijab differently. When I switched it, because I wanted to be more like this, nobody batted an eye. Like, yeah, when I say I'm fasting, one of the most touching moments for me was, I think it was the year before last, or maybe it was last year, I can't remember. I went to work the first day of Ramadan, and I did not say anything. I wanted to be like, yeah, I'm fasting, but nobody knows. And my boss, the supervisor of my department, one of my favorite people, Anna, comes up to me and wishes me happy Ramadan. I'm like, how did you know? I didn't tell you. But she knew. She's also the only person who, when I wasn't working and I was furloughed and it was Buster's birthday, she sent me a text wishing my cat a happy birthday. There's very little I wouldn't do for her. She's a very special person. I mean, the fact that she knew about Ramadan. So people have accepted it. So we're tired of being preached at. What we want are good stories. They remind me, like I've said, about those stories my parents used to give us as kids, where they were all about teaching us about how great to be Muslim, instead of integrating it into the story. So I hope I've made my point clear. I didn't mean to offend anybody. I didn't mean to anger anybody. I just realized one of the people who commented in my Tim Drake video was saying how it's a sweet romance. It's a nice love story. But it's a Robin comic book! Yeah, even in Batman, there's romance, but it's rarely touched on, because that's not why people read Batman or Robin. It's not for the love story. And I said it in my John Kent video, where I said, you're writing in the wrong genre. Get out of comics, or at least get out of superhero comics, where people are reading them for action and superheroes and kicking butt and taking names and being a superhero, and not about the sweet love story. I said it in my other video about Destiny 2. If Bungie were to suddenly be like, we're taking Destiny 2 in a new direction. Dating sim. Most Destiny 2 players are going to be like, hell no, I am out. Because that's not why they play Destiny 2. And it's the same thing. People don't go to Robin or Batman looking for sweet romance story. They're looking for Robin kicking butt and taking names. So, I hope again that I've made my point clear. This isn't about LGBTQ. I don't know. I don't know if I can explain it any further. I didn't mean to offend anybody, and I didn't mean to anger anybody or hurt anybody. Okay? I'm planning on making a video about Captain Kirk. And again, it isn't about bi. It's about changing an established character and not understanding the friendship between Kirk and Spock. But I'll leave that for another video. Thank you for watching. Yeah, the cat just jumped down. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. And I hope to see you in the tower.